Hey there and happy Wednesday. I have learned through feedback and through comments that I hear when I talk to you guys helping you place orders or just through text and in passing that you guys love fun folds. So today I kind of have not only like a fun fold for you, but I also have a gift card holder. I was helping one of you who watches my videos regularly place an order earlier, and I said, you know, I need to come up with today's card, or maybe narrow down, I guess is the best way to always describe what I do. And in narrowing it down, and there's Pam, that's who I was talking to earlier. So Pam, I have narrowed it down. I kind of said to Pam, I should do something Christmassy because I cannot believe we are this far into September and I've done nothing Christmassy. Usually I do maybe one card in July, a couple of cards in August, and then September 2 or 3 cards maybe even, because I know a lot of you like to get your cards done or at least a plan in place early on so that you have everything for when the busyness hits. You might even be ready and done with those types of projects and stuff too. So with that, let's see, I'm just going to make sure that my iPad doesn't have the volume on it. There we go. So hi Pam, hi Arlene. I'm going to put down my iPad and show you today's card. So Pam's always like, how do you get all of your ideas? Well, I'm going to admit today I got my idea from a dear Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Terry Meeham. Her and I met actually in Sorrento, Italy on an incentive trip, and we have stayed in contact through our passion and love of reading, and we have very similar reading styles. And I just ran into her in New Orleans last month, and it was so fun just to see her face to face. So when I was going through my swaps that I got from New Orleans, this is Terry's card here. She did such a fantastic job on her swap. I'm like, how much of these supplies do I have to copy it as closely as possible to bring you guys something fun with a fun fold and a gift card holder. Hi there, Linda. Hi, Rosina. So this is Terry's card here because I always want to give credit where credit's due. And I love that she put this little piece of paper, and I might do the same for you guys that have ordered my cards this month or will order my cards this month or have ordered to earn them, just because like you might get them and go, oh, this is fun. And then, or if you might set it aside and not use it right away because Christmas is a ways off. I think I'm going to put that inside here too, just to help you remember that it is a gift card holder. So pretty and festive for the upcoming Christmas season. Hi there, Sharon. Thanks for joining in. So like I said, Terry Meeham came up with that, idea, and then here is my take on it. And instead of doing die cuts, I chose a different sentiment and a punch today. And so then I put like a little sentiment there, and I actually put the gift card in there to make sure that it fit and everything with my measurements. So where everything is coming from is the mini catalog, and I just love how like this front now just ties in with this card. Okay, so hi there, Sherry. Let me start with the stamp set. So from, like I said, the mini catalog, the stamp set here is called Very Best Occasions. And I love stamp sets like this. So I'm using for the outside the sentiment, and for the inside that sentiment, but there's birthday in here. There's Christmas in there with love and comfort, thinking of you. There's sympathy in there, which I think we all go, oh, we are so in need of sympathy cards and just the sentiments to make them. You're the best ever, love and miss you. Just a lot of nice sentiments. So Very Best Occasions is on page 68. Whoops, let me fold this over to get it in the camera. So that is on page 68 of the mini catalog. So thanks, Pammy. I thought it turned out really special and like glittery, shimmery looking for today's project. So I was glad about that. And speaking of shimmer, then, let me get to the page. So there is this glimmer specialty paper on page 31. And previously I had pulled this out to make my Halloween card for you, maybe even my very first card of September. And I used the gold out of here. Well, there's Evening Evergreen, and then just kind of that, what does it? say it is evening, very vanilla. I was going to say, because it looks a little bit more off-white than like a white or something, but the very vanilla makes it look really classy. Like I said, the golden evening evergreen. So I'm using evening evergreen. And then also there is in this mini catalog, the ones I showed you are 12 by 12. This is 6 by 6 and it comes red and white. So if you have purchased one or the other, I always like to give extra options because just because I use the 12 by 12 evening evergreen doesn't mean you have to. Like this would be so pretty to use the 6 by 6 and easy to cut that down and make this layer red there too. So I like to give you the options that too. So a bunch of you just dropped in here. Hi Letitia and Margaret and Deb and June. Oh, wonderful, June. I am looking forward to seeing you and Medelia, and it makes me thrilled because I'm hearing that there's a good bunch of you guys signed up for my in-person community ed class on Monday next week, and I don't have names yet, so it's just great to like connect and know that you're going to be coming. All right, so on page 25, this is where we find the beautiful, I call it just classy, classic Christmas paper. And so on page 25, you'll see all the layouts there. And I have it here. And because I haven't used this yet, then I kind of like to do a quick run through. So this isn't the paper I'm using. It's kind of a bigger version of what I'm using with the poinsettias and just kind of a scattered red background. And then I've got this, which I am using today. So pretty. You could cut these out singular if you wanted to use that just as your poinsettia little bouquet there. And then a really interesting kind of barky nature looking background there. And speaking of that, then we've got these trees here. Let me turn that around. So very festive looking that way, or even nature looking. And then we've got this for a background. And then I love the color combination here too. It reminds me of last year's paper combination that they brought back in, I can't think of the name, but it's 12 by 12 paper that I used a lot of last year. And I loved this kind of busy layout of the foliage. And then this is such a pretty like evening evergreen pattern background too. This is the one that I am using. So if you go, no, you showed me that. So we have the big poinsettias and the small poinsettias. So I'm using small poinsettias today just because I'm using such tiny pieces of it, and then kind of polka dot and just kind of that distressed look there. And then how fun is this? It almost looks like we've taken like alcohol inks and just did like a color wash with that. Very pretty and festive. And this is almost like if you could have Christmas camouflage, this is it. So that is what comes in that paper. So I always like to kind of show you that. But like I said, the two that I'm using for today's card are these two patterns from there. And if you're just popping in, you'll have to rewind to see the glitter options that I gave you. But if you keep coming along with me, you'll see what I actually am using too. So that works out well. So to get started, I'm starting this from square one because it's a fun fold card, and I'm glad that Deb's watching. Deb is probably my hugest fun fold fan, or at least expresses she is. A lot of you might go, but I like fun folds too, and that's great. So but Deb is always like, oh, if you could do fun folds every day, like that would be the best. So I'm going to start with the card base 8.5 by 11 of Cherry Cobbler. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half at the 4 1/4. So I'm actually cutting it the long way. And I'm just going to set aside the second piece for like a second card. And then I'm going to get out my little extension here. And I think I'm going to try and like every time you see me, I do cut backwards. I cut left-handed, and I am like partially left-handed. I'm going to try and get that more into the screen here for you guys. There we go. And so I have to turn things around, and then it just seems so backwards for me, but for all of you, it's going to seem very normal. So I'm putting this at 7 3/4 and cutting it. And then I'm going to take this all the way back to 2 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to scoop my cutting blade. See, this where it's like, I don't even know how it opens up now when it's backwards. But I'm going to get my scoring blade up here at 2 1/4 and just give that a good score here for a nice crease line. So this is the part we're going to use for the flap that comes down, so there's no waste. So that makes it even more fun right from the get-go. So that's why I kind of wanted to start right from the beginning, so you could see how that all comes together. So with my bone folder here, I'm just going to give that a nice good crease there, like so. And then I kind of have these pieces pre-cut, basically to make things really easier. And you might go, you know what, cherry cobbler and real red kind of clash. But I say that with some of our pinks and reds and purples, like purple and red and pink can clash when used all together. But when it comes to Christmas, you can put these reds together. When it comes to Valentine's, you can put the reds and the pinks and the purples all together, and somehow, just because it's that occasion, it works. So to start with this, I'm going to take a piece of real red, now 4 by 5 1/4, and I have 2 pieces of that pretty what's the name of it? Boughs of Holly DSP. So they're both cut 4 inches. This one 4 by 2 and this one 1 inch. And so I'm just going to take and, whoops, got to take the cover off, or the cap here. I'm just going to kind of put that across at an angle, and I'm going to line this up on the bottom of my real red piece here, right across the bottom like so. And then I can go ahead and get my adhesive going on here, and then this is going to be placed as the inside of the gift card holder here, like so. So you can see things coming together. And then that second piece here, and I can just tape on and get that to go across the top flap like so. So really, if you think, oh, you know what, my Christmas has boiled down to just lots of gift cards, making these and mass producing these will go really quick. So I took this pretty paper and cut it 3 by 4, whoops, 3 by 4, and then the chunk that I took off is actually 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So that works out perfect. So I can just kind of keep putting adhesive on this way, but now is the tricky part. So with this tricky part, I'm going to put this on here to have this come down, and yet we have all know that what's going to go in here is that gift card. So I kind of want to put my adhesive really close to the top, and then really close to the edges, and only about here to here. And I'm hoping that, there we go, that the camera and the lighting will pick that up. So I'm going to just kind of put that like so, so that it kind of connects down to the bottom. And then I also, sometimes I line it up. I have these lines here on my workspace, and it just looks like a smidge crooked. So if I line that up, then I'll kind of know. And there's no glue, and another reason why I wanted to open it up, just to make sure that none of this adhesive went too far past where I want it to go. So now that looks fantastic, and actually I'm going to do my test run for my sample here. Pull out my McDonald's gift card. If you don't know me, I'm a huge McDonald's fan. My #1 thing that I love to get, if I could on a daily basis, drive in and get a Diet Coke. It's not even a food item, you guys. I love their Diet Coke. McDonald's in our area has the best Diet Coke. Okay, so McDonald's gift card fits right in there perfectly like so. So I just did my test run to make sure that that works. Now here's that pretty, hi there, Diane, glimmer paper. Like I said, it comes in 3 colors. This is Evening Evergreen. It also comes in vanilla and gold in that package all together. Hi, Tabitha. So for this is my little trick that I want to tell you about before I forget too. When I cut glimmer paper with my trimmer, it does tend to dull it, just because it's cutting through like something that's probably similar to sandpaper. What I do when I cut with this, I have a blade set aside, guys, just right off on my workspace here, that I have set aside. So every time I use glimmer paper, knowing it's going to kind of like dull it up quicker, I put this in and cut all my glimmer paper and then pop back my regular one. The other thing I do, this seems to be a little smoother, obviously, and I've been told if you put that down and cut through it, that will wear or there'll be less wear on your blade, put it that way. So that's my other tip of the day to show and tell you guys. So that's what I do over here. All right, so this is cut 1.5 inches by 3 1/4. And now this I'm going to put down right across here as kind of like a little bit of a belly label. And I kind of just want to make sure it's all within this red and not down too far, just as a, not that the measurements are going to affect anything, just the eye appeal. Okay, so now we're building all of this up, and now we just need to get some kind of sentiment going. So let's open up our Evening Evergreen ink pad here. And from the Very Best Occasion stamp set, I love this little stamp with a little more sparkle and a little less stress. Let's make this Christmas the very best. And I love the little decorative holly pieces on there too. So I'm just going to stamp this out in Evening Evergreen ink, like so. And so I love how just crisp and clear it is. Like I said, with a little bit of holly and sprig going on there. And then I'm not even using my cut and emboss machine today. I'm just going to pull out a punch, and this is the, oops, just going to take my scissor here. I could have stamped it down just a little bit. I want it down a little bit, so I'm going to just take and cut that off. All right, so this is the decorative circle punch here. I'm going to center that in here. Oh, okay, so Deb's going back to work. She was hoping to catch me during her break, but she loves fun folds and wants everybody to know that. That's awesome. Okay, so I have this. Now, before I pop this up and put this on here, I have to show you this iridescent trim. This is so pretty. Look at how it shimmers and shines. Now, let me tell you a secret today only. Last week's weekly deals are still up, and tomorrow's have went live already. So today there's like twice the weekly deals all day today. And so this is actually tomorrow's weekly deal, but you can get it today. So instead of this big roll being $8, it's $7.20 today. And until next Thursday, these are the last round of weekly deals for the month of September. But if you're kind of thinking like, oh, there's a couple things I wanted, but not enough to place an actual order from last week's weekly deals, maybe the new additions to this week's weekly deals, you can kind of bump and do this. I know Pam, when she ordered, one of the ribbons that she wanted was on sale. That was kind of a fun little surprise. But I wanted to let you know that. So if you just go to the Stampin' Up! Website or my website, same thing, and then just click on specials, and then you'll see September weekly deals, and it'll be there. All right, so what I'm going to do as I segue away from my weekly deals, but I get pretty excited about things on sale. And I know you guys do too. So I'm just kind of making this little loop like so. And honestly, what I do is I just kind of lay it on here like so. Just lay it, knowing that this is going to go on top. But what it helps me do is go, you know what, I need a dimensional here, here, and here, and kind of there. And so as I tip things over, then I'll know that because this ribbon is a little bit bulkier, then I know that I've got to make space kind of to, I call it a channel, to go through here. So I have 5 spaced pretty evenly, dimensionals on the back side here. Let's make sure that I have all my papers off. There's one of them, and there should be one more. There we go. So what this does then is, like, I can just channel this. I could probably just lay it right through there. Nope, because that's going to be the wrong angle. I find it's just better to lay this down, but know that it's going to hook and go through all of those little crannies there that I have. And I kind of want it to be even as it goes through. So now I've got a dimensional up here one in the middle, one down there, and then one up here and one here. So that's going to, even though this is bulky, it's going to stick this down remarkably well. And I love that little technique when it comes to bulky things, is just putting the dimensionals in the right spot to create that little channel for that. And because this is kind of loose, because it's going through the channel, you can play around with making this do like longer, shorter, however you want to pull that through. So that'll work really well too. Okay, last thing I need to do is add a little bit more accessories. On my sample here, I use the Red Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and I've used these a ton, love them. And I just took and highlighted the holly berries there with that. But before I add what I want to do for you guys, because I want to show you a couple different things, I just realized I need to get out my Evening Evergreen Light Stampin' Blends marker and just kind of color in these leaves here a little bit. And my full disclosure is you get the best results using the blends with Memento ink. One time somebody was a little upset with me because I did this type of thing where I took a marker and I markered in, even though this is all stamped on Evening Evergreen ink. There could be fading that could happen, so that's my disclaimer. If you do this, it could create some fading with those leaves because this is an alcohol marker and it's a water-based ink pad, so that's why. But a lot of times the results are good, and for what I wanted this to be all green, so that's why I chose that option. Now for just a different look, I'm going to do, this says red and green adhesive back pearl. Stampin' Up! Had quite a few of these go out that way. In the mini catalog, it's referred to as festive pearls. So I'm going to go for the red ones, and I'm going to go 1 and 2 right over the little dots. Now here you can see they gave us 4 hollies, 4 holly berries. And you know me, I like to put things in on even numbers. So I'm going to put my little dot kind of like right in between there and cover up 2 of the holly berry dots of the designer with 1 little holly berry, so that I have a total of 3 on there, like so. So if you like the little bit of sparkle from the rhinestones, you can see that there. Or if you kind of like the matte finish of the festive pearls that are kind of pearlized and red, then you can see that. So I kind of wanted to show you the difference there. And then I'll finish it off by bringing out my ink pad. And from that same stamp set, May You Enjoy the Warmth of Family this season. Just going to open up the card and stamp that in Evening Evergreen right in the center of that. It almost looks black because we're stamping the dark Evening Evergreen on real red. But there you have it. So gift card holder, I'm just going to tuck that in there, and hopefully don't forget it for the next time I go through the drive-thru for my Diet Coke, that it's sitting at home inside this card. Maybe somebody will get lucky, I'll forget it, and when I send out these cards, it'll be in there still. Maybe that's what I need to do. Increase orders by putting surprise gift cards in what I send out. What do you guys think of that? All right, so this is project number 7 for September for you guys. So even if you didn't use this as, you know, a gift card holder up there, it's still just a fun fold card like that, and you could have it going this way depending on, you know, what kind of pattern you're having to work with your paper and such as well. So hopefully that will give you some kind of idea for that. Oops, here I am. So how you can get my set of 8 cards this month of September is just contact me and say, hey, I think I want your cards. And for $25, I will get the the set of 8 completely finished out to you. And that includes delivery if you're local or postage if you're not local. So anybody can participate. And if there's things that you need to order and you go, yes, I do need to place an order, just place a minimum $75 order using my special host code this month, which right after I'm done with my video, I will upload this project with that host code, or you can see it because I'm running it all month. So if you can't wait, look at yesterday's card, and that will show you my monthly host code as well too. So that's how you can get my cards for free. And if you're not in need of anything right now, just I hope you're loving the inspiration that these videos give you for different products maybe that you have on hand to use things up, or just to get your mojo back going and creating now that we're back in a routine with fall here. So have a great rest of your night. I will be back with you with card number 8 tomorrow afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye.